The conflict over the checkpoint, where 20% of the world's oil supply passes through, has caused an energy crisis. On Friday's news that the strait had reopened, U.S. crude oil prices fell nearly 10% to just over $85 a barrel. That's still about $18 more than before the war started. But it was enough to fuel a big day for investors on Wall Street. The Dow gained nearly 2% on Friday, while the S&P and the Nasdaq closed at all-time highs. But Iran's announcement today that it is reasserting control over the strait could once again send oil prices higher. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayeb and his team got an exclusive up-close look at what is happening in this waterway at a critical moment for the world.
Good morning. Well, we spent weeks planning how to get into the Strait of Hormuz, mapping routes, exit plans, and what we do if something went wrong. Now, when that fragile Pakistani brokered ceasefire took hold, we made the call and crossed from one Gulf state to another, only to find the world's most critical waterway still on edge.
As we drove in from land, we could clearly see vessel after vessel stuck in the Strait of Hormuz.
It's extraordinary to think that this waterway is where 20% of the world's energy passes through and is in front line between the U.S. and Iran.
There's no easy way to access the strait. Since the start of the war, Gulf nations have forbidden journalists from doing so. So we decided to pose as tourists as we negotiated with a guide to get access to the world's most contested waterway.
Can we do $100?
To take us as far out as was safe.
Okay, no problem. 120.
With a deal in place, we boarded a traditional dhow, the kind of boat that has been used by fishermen in the Gulf for generations. On the water, and the scenery was majestic. We also noticed we were under the watchful eye of the Coast Guard, who have been closely monitoring these seas, which Iran claims to have mined. At one point, we were also followed by some dolphins who weaved through the wake, rising and dipping in the sunlight.
We've only been on this journey for a few minutes now. We've already seen ship after ship just stuck there, and they've been like that for weeks now.
For 7 weeks, Tehran has effectively weaponized the Strait of Hormuz by only allowing its own vessels and that of its allies to pass, effectively cutting off one of the world's most vital energy corridors and sending global prices soaring.
Thank you for letting us on board.
This isn't our first time in these waters. Back in 2019, we were given rare access from the Iranian authorities to enter its side of the strait. It was a time of sky-high tensions. Iran had been blamed for several attacks on oil tankers, and the then Trump White House was attempting to form an international coalition to defend shipping.
Make no mistake, this is perhaps one of the most volatile areas in the world. It's also one of the most important. Every single day, $1.3 billion worth of crude oil transits through here.
Even then, it would have been hard to imagine the crisis facing the strait today.
Not only has Iran blockaded these waters, so too has President Trump in an attempt to choke off Iran's own energy exports.
Following a ceasefire in Lebanon, Iran said the strait was now fully open, but the president kept the U.S. blockade in place, leading Tehran to reclose it.
And this morning, Iran's military has said it will keep the Strait of Hormuz closed in response to the U.S. maintaining its blockade. Now, there are approximately 800 vessels still stuck there, and we saw many of them, so it's clear the standoff in the world's most vital waterway is not over. Kelly.
Imtiaz, thank you so much. And just incredible reporting, something that we're the only American network to do, to go through the Strait of Hormuz right now.